I am not an expert. The views and opinions expressed in this video are based on my own beliefs and experiences for entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as advice. Proceed at your own risk, not intended for children. Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Amy and this is The Shadowed Path, and on this channel we talk about witchcraft and sorcery from my perspective, as well as mental health and a bunch of other things. Whenever I just feel like talking about stuff, we talk about stuff. Everything that's covered on this channel is based on my own personal experience and my own personal thoughts and beliefs and stuff. So there's going to be things that don't pertain to you, there are going to be things you don't agree with, and what's important to remember is that there are as many ways to practice witchcraft as there are people in the world. That is okay, it is all totally valid, and if this isn't for you, that's totally fine, and if it is, yay. Before we get into it, if you haven't already, please subscribe, it helps me out a lot. And remember that I am only able to really respond to the comments within the first couple of hours of posting a video, so if you have any questions for me related to this video, please put them in the comments down below. Right after I post, like if you're able to watch this, you know, within that same, like in that period of time, and I will get back to you, and I will do my best to get it back to you. So today's video, I'm actually tackling a pretty common question slash assumption that has come up in my comments a lot. The thing that I see the most, because even if I'm not able to respond to your comments, I do read as many of them as I possibly can, and they do help to inspire the content that I make here. I do want y'all to get what you want and what you need from this channel, assuming that I'm able to provide that for you. So so today our topic is another installment of the Elemental Magic series that I am doing, have been doing since I started the channel. I'll put the playlist somewhere in the description and probably on the screen somewhere, so y'all can go check that out if you want to see more videos that are like this one, sort of in this vein topic-wise. This is inspired by y'all, really. Something that I have heard a lot from fellow witches and from y'all is, I'm a Libra, but my element is fire, or I'm a Scorpio, but my element is earth. I don't know astrology that well, so Scorpio is a fire element, right? Anyway, there's this huge assumption that there's a correlation between one's astrological sign, like their sun sign, basically a person's sun sign, and their element as far as like magic is concerned. So first, my disclaimer, I actually don't know that much about astrology. I'm not an astrologer. I love it. I think it's so fascinating. I think it's incredible. I'm working on, I just got this book. Here it is. I just got this book recently. It is huge. Look at this thing. It is so thick. No kidding. The only astrology book you'll ever need. It's ginormous. That's not overwhelming at all. I'm very excited about it, but my point is, astrology, I've barely even scratched the surface with astrology. But what I can tell you is that astrology, at least from my perspective, it's very much to do with a person's life circumstances. It's a lot more like tarot or divination. It can help you sort of understand where you've been before, where you are now, and where you may be going, and things that you might need to know or understand about who you are and where you are. It has a lot to do with personality, and it has a lot to do with like life circumstances and events and things like that. Astrology to me is very much like almost like a divination tool, but it's like so involved. Elemental magic is something else entirely. Elemental magic is not dictated by astrology. So your astrological signs, and there are a lot of them, right? So even if you're a Libra, like because you were born in October, I keep saying Libra, I'm a Libra. So even if you're born in October, like you could have a whole ton of Gemini in your chart or something, right? And all of that is going to change, sort of like, not change, but a lot of that is going to correlate to sort of who you are and your life circumstances and what you need and how you react to things and the challenges that you've had, your shadow self, all of that stuff, like very deep personal things. That's astrology, right? Your element, while it is often sort of connected to your personality in a way, you can kind of get a sense for what element people might be kind of based on their personality a little bit. An easy correlation is that often people who work with the fire element are very like fiery, passionate people. Sometimes tend to be very like sexual, sometimes they're not, but they're just like, you know, those people, right? And that's probably why I thought of Scorpios. I can't remember. Anyway, the point is, it really doesn't matter like what your astrological chart says when it comes to your elemental magic. Elemental magic is something that's inside of you, it's part of you, and it has to do with the part of the universe that you connect to the most. Some people don't connect to elemental magic, some people connect to all of it. Some people are just like here for the energy and they run the gamut and they're like rainbow people. Not necessarily queers, but like could be, you know? Anyway, I think of them as rainbow people because the way that I was taught, I'll probably put a chart on the screen here. The way that I was taught elemental magic was that there were 6 main elements and we assigned colors to them. So it was sort of like color coding. So like earth was green and air was yellow and light was white and shadow was black and red was fire and green was assigned to earth or brown, sort of depending, but usually green. I think of people who use all of the elements sort of as like rainbow people because all the colors. Anyway, I basically just want to like set your worries. I just want to like set your worries to rest, like, and help you like, it's like, it's okay, right? If you're over here like,
oh, my sign and my element like don't match, I don't know what to do, and how is this possible?
It's okay, like it doesn't matter. And if it's one of those things that you like really need to understand why it is, then like I'd suggest maybe creating an actual like, get like your chart done, like your actual astrological chart done, because that might tell you something about your personality, which might then tell you something about your element, and your element association. Not the one that's associated with your sun sign, but rather the one that's associated with your personality, the kind of person you are and how you relate to magic. For example, folks who are the shadow element, i.e. me, often they like tend to sort of like need people in their lives. They're like extroverted introverts often, but they don't want to be the center of attention. They prefer to kind of be in the background, and they, I know it's weird, I have a YouTube channel, but like I love this because I can talk to y'all and I can interact with y'all, but like it's literally like me and my camera and my dogs here. So I'm not actually in the middle of a group of people, you know? Anyway, they tend to be more like supportive people, like they would be in a social situation because there's somebody there that they care about, not necessarily because they're seeking out like the energy of being around a lot of people. And they tend to be sort of tumultuous on the inside, but also kind of calm and, you know, a little goth, honestly, a lot of times, like, whether they appear goth or not, whether it was like a music attraction or not. For me, I find that wearing black is very comforting. I find that having blacks and grays in my environment is very comforting. It's very soothing and calming. And for me, for example, I'm a night person. I prefer to be alive when the rest of the world is asleep. I like actual, literal, physical darkness. I find it soothing and calming. The sun can make me sick, and there's a lot of who I am as a person that goes into that, right? Like, I'm a very pale person. My family, a lot of them in previous generations were redheads, and I get like heat stroke, I get sun sickness and all of that stuff. Like, the sun's energy for me is not energy giving, it's sort of draining. And that doesn't necessarily make me a shadow element person, but like all of who and what I am is part of my magic, and my magic is part of me. So it all kind of lends to this in the end, right? The fact that I feel uncomfortable wearing a lot of bright colors, and the fact that I sort of prefer to kind of be in the background when there is a large social situation, but not forgotten, mind you. Like, I don't want to be left out. I just don't want to be the center of attention. The fact that I like to be awake at nighttime, the fact that I find the darkness like soothing. You know, I'm a little bit I've always kind of joked that like I need a coffin to sleep in, like, because when the sun starts to come up, I'm like, you know? None of that necessarily makes me a shadow element person, but all of what I am kind of makes me a shadow element person. And when I was told that that is the element that I work with, I was also told, obviously, you have a choice. If this doesn't feel right to you, if you don't feel like this is your true element, then please let us know what your true element is. So it's a little bit sort of like there are ways to kind of pick up on what you think somebody's element might be, but in the end, there are so many variables that go into it, and also somebody could be masking. And somebody might also be in the middle of a weird part of their life. They could be going through some trauma, or they could be going through a high point, and their personality might have shifted a bit, and it can be difficult to know if that's the case. So it is a good idea to definitely practice guessing what people's elements are, and trying to figure out what yours is, and researching them a little bit and stuff. And I do have some information about the different elements and the personality types, I think, in my book Elemental Magic. It's also in the description. Super short ebook or paperback book that I self-published through Amazon. But it's never a good idea to tell somebody well, you're this, you know, because they might not be, and you can't really know that for them. And so I don't want y'all to feel hindered by your astrological signs or by what somebody else tells you, because I saw a lot of confusion in the comments. I saw a lot of people saying this is what my sign is, but this is what my element is, and I don't understand. And also people saying they were drawn to multiple elements and not thinking that that was okay. And really, when it comes down to it, how you practice and who you are, and the decisions that you make about which elements you're going to interact with, that's 100% up to you. That's 100% up to you. So if you feel like your astrological sign and your elemental sign need to mesh, then maybe do some digging into your chart and find out why that is. Maybe you've got a lot of fire in your chart, and that's why your elemental sign is fire, or you know, maybe that corresponds better than just your sun sign. Or maybe you haven't found the right element yet, or maybe you need to let it go and take a deep breath and realize that maybe how you interact with your astrological chart versus how you interact with magic isn't going to be the same. It's not a one-to-one comparison. It's apples and oranges. I hope that helped. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, leave your astrological sign in the comments down below. They're you know, emojis or words, whatever. And if you like this video, please like it, or if you didn't, give it a thumbs down. That's okay too, however you happen to be feeling. If you'd like to see more content like this and you haven't already, please subscribe and share the video with somebody else that you think might enjoy it. I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. There are more of these videos to come. Check out my Elemental Magic playlist if you haven't already. It's gonna be somewhere. I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. See you next time.